Well, I'm going to blame this on 409 Nova Man. Yeah, I get teased relentlessly. I got two of these dumpy gray sweaters that I wear in the garage. And I guess, yeah, they are, I'm making this Concours d'Elegance and these sweaters Concours d'Elegance. So yeah, so I was asked for a magic marker, and this is what became of one of my dumpy sweaters. I'll have to wear this out to a cruise. This one was recently washed a day or two ago. I have two of them, and I wash them with the whites with bleach. They just get super nasty. I'm going to try and put the differential carrier in today. I got the drive shaft sitting out here. I'll show you. I'm gonna pull a front U-joint. I gotta make a run to the auto parts and get some odds and ends, and you know, just get a few things done. So I'll do a little video as I put things together. And again, thank you 409 Nova Man for the good laugh this morning. I laughed for a long time after seeing that comment. Yeah, it was a good one. So, let me just show my Sharpie fashion here just a little bit closer up. Just in case if anyone was wondering about those Motorcraft shocks that I installed on the car, these are the directions in case if anyone wants to read them. It says revised 9/21/73, and here is the warranty. I guess you can pause it. You might have to pause it back, you know, because I can't fit the whole. Oh, there we go. So there's the warranty on my new shocks, and then some more installation instructions. This says revised 2/19/71, and there's the back side of the warranty. Alright, I got the housing all cleaned out. Boy, was that a joy laying under here doing that. And it cleaned up fairly easy. I actually used enamel reducer. It doesn't evaporate as quick. I just poured it in here until it was even with the top there, and just took a parts washer brush and worked it around, and then soaked up all the sludge in there and threw it away. And I got the breather. The breather was out, and I got that back in, and I peened it over the housing a little bit so it doesn't come out. That's bolted into where it's supposed to be bolted up there. So I'm gonna clean up all the fasteners. I gotta clean up the little bracket for the brake lines, and because that bolts on here. There is some rating in there, and I don't know if it shows up or not. It looks like a, I don't know, maybe a 2-0. It's something there, and right there. I don't know if that shows up in the video or not, but there is writing in there, and there's paint overspray in there. They must have painted this just without the carrier and just sprayed it while it was going down the line before they put the pig in. That's probably why the pig is just in primer. The front rear U-joints in this car are different, and the front U-joint, there's two different ones offered. So this cap and these two caps are bigger than these two caps. So you can see how when I set this in the yoke, it's all loose and floppy. That's the drive shaft one. This one fits nice and tight in the yoke. That's the differential, so this one goes in the drive shaft, and these ones have grease fittings. Always point your grease fittings towards your drive shaft, otherwise you'll never get grease in them. If you put your fitting, you know, the other way around, you just can't get a grease gun on them. So always point them towards the drive shaft if you have greasable U-joints. I'm going to pull this front U-joint out, and before I do, I'm going to mark this so I know which way to put, you know, the thing together. So I'm just going to take my punch and I'm going to put a punch mark. Whoops. It'd be better if I hit the punch square on instead of on the side. Punch mark. Punch mark. So I know that that's the way that's oriented. The next step is pull these little clips if I can get them out. Sometimes these get stuck in the groove. Whoops, that one started to come out. I guess I need a better pair of pliers in here. Don't you love it? Whoops, almost had it. This joint is partially seized up. So is the rear one, you know, they're just really stiff, so they're not loose, they're not, you know, wiggling around or worn out, they're just stiff from being parked for 43 years or 44 years now. I mean, look at this. Yeah, that shouldn't be tight like that. This car is literally going to be like a brand new car. I've gone through, I think, everything. I have not done an old car where I've had to just absolutely go through everything mechanically like I have this car. Everything's needed attention. There we go. Alright, I'm going to use my ball joint tool to remove the U-joints. It just beats hammering on the drive shaft. I have this kit here that came with everything to do ball joints. I've made, you know, adapters do other things. But it is designed to press in and out ball joints. So I'm going to use it to do U-joints. Sometimes they're easier to hammer out, but like I say, I just don't want to hammer on my drive shaft, so we're going to try and push them out with this. Now it looks like I might have to hammer it a bit, as that's as far as that goes. Thought maybe it'd go a little bit further. If it just goes a fuzz more, it'll pop out. Let me see if I can push it a little bit more. I just don't want to hammer on my shaft if I don't have to here. Well, that's not going in the yoke. I gotta get something to put in there. Hang on, I'll get a little socket. Put a 3/8 drive socket in there. Whoops. There we go. This threaded part of the screw is starting to hit the drive shaft. Now let's see if I can get this seized up cap off that joint. It is out of there. See how it's seized onto the cap, or onto this. So I gotta, let me get some channel locks or something, see if I can twist it off. Usually these just pull right off and the joint's out, but that's seized. Yeah, that one's seized right on the U-joint. That one's free. I should have pushed it the other way. but this one's seized. This is the seized one. Lovely. All right, let me get some vice grips maybe. If not, I'll just push it through the other way, no big deal. I guess that cap just doesn't want to come off, so I'm just going to push it out the other way because the other cap does turn freely on the joint. This one just seized right on. Now watch it be the other way around, huh? I gotta get my little socket in there so I don't bugger up the shaft. Actually, the grease in that, oh yeah, with it seized, I can't even turn it to get it out of there. May have to take this other joint off too. Yeah, it's gonna, I'll take the yoke off too. Yeah, this is just not wanting to come apart. But you can see the joint that isn't seized actually in really nice shape. Has nice grease in there. Alright, I gotta get my socket. Guess I could just start it with the socket, save undoing it and putting it in. This one's seized. Whoops, there, it just came off, but this one's seized in there too. Lovely. I always pick the seized end to drive out. Alright, let me just horse with this a few minutes and then I'll run to the auto parts store. Both times I pushed the seized joint out. So this one's seized and this one was seized. You can see all the rust and bearings are all messed up. But this one here is nice. And this one was nice. But these two aren't. So somehow moisture got in these two and seized them up. But anyway, there's enough there I can take it to the auto parts and get the right size new joint. Well, 3 auto parts stores later, I got some muffler clamps for the hangers. Whoops, a nut just fell out of that one. For hanging the exhaust system. That's the old U-joint. I have an air hose that I got that needed some of those, so I got some of those. I got the donuts for the exhaust pipe to the manifolds. New U-joint. These springs for the parking brake in the rear. One of them was missing and this one's kind of cruddy, so I got a couple new ones. The hardware kit surprisingly didn't come with them, and I didn't have any more of these, so I picked up a couple of these for the brake adjusters, and I picked up a couple of different universal exhaust hangers. I'm missing one hanger, and I thought this one here will work to replace it. I think this is the one I'll use, but I got two different ones that are inexpensive. But I can weld this to the original hanger bracket once I get the pipes under there and figure out where they need to go. Cleaned up the yoke really nice. That way the snap rings, you know, they snap in there properly. I'm going to clean this yoke up. I probably won't be able to fit this in my bead blast cabinet like I did this. So I'll just hit it with a little wire wheel with the Dremel, you know, around in the cups there. And I'm just going to clean this up a bit, and then I'll clean the rest of the shaft up later. I just realized I pressed the settings button instead of the record button, so all I did was change the settings on the camera. But always put your grease fitting, like I say, facing the driveway or drive shaft, so you can get a grease fitting on it, grease zert. And I always make sure these are snapped all the way in, all the way around, and they are. So it's in the yoke. Now I'm going to clean this up and put it in there. Well, I wheeled the drive shaft, but I still got to clean in here and around in here, so I'm going to do that with the little Dremel so those clips fit in. Putting this together, that's my stake there and that's my stake there, so this is oriented like this, and I'm going to put the one bearing cap in at a time. I don't want to get that grease dirt in it, so I put a little oil in the U-joint holes on the shaft so that I gotta set this up on something. There we go. Am I blocking the view totally with my dumpy sweater or my fat head? It's not on the center of the U-joint. I got to get it over on the center. I just want to go in enough to where I can get that clip in. And then I'll put the other cap on. Just make sure that that clip is seated in all the way, which it appears to be. Looks like it needs going just a little further. And there we go, we got a new U-joint installed, and it's not seized up. There we be. Now you can see the grease fitting, oops, faces the drive shaft, and nice, and everything's, I'll pump some grease in there, but I'm going to put the rear joint in so the grease fitting, so you don't have to turn the drive shaft twice to get to your fittings when you're greasing the chassis. I got the rear U-joint in, as you can see, and I put tape around it just so the caps don't come off, but I didn't video it because, you know, I did one and one's enough, but it was a bit of a fiasco. Couldn't get this cap out. This kept hitting the shaft, so I just had to take it over to the bench grinder and grind a little out of it, and then I got it out of there. And the shaft cleaned up all right. I wire wheeled it and then I wiped it down with motor oil. You can still see the line on it there that goes around the shaft. It's kind of a pink color. And I'm going to put the carrier in, and then I'm going to put the drive shaft in. Wasted a lot of time today chasing around for parts, so it's coming to the end of the day, but I want to try and get that in anyway. There was just no way I could video underneath here and put that thing in. It was just way too much to deal with and try and video, but it's in. The nuts that hold it to the housing are torqued to 30 foot-pounds. So I got to put the stainless steel hydraulic lines on it tomorrow, and I think I'll put the new axle bearings in and get the shafts and backing plates back in, and you know, start getting this all buttoned up. Gear lube up the axle tomorrow. There's no gear lube in the diff right now, but it looks good. I just wire wheeled the drive shaft and wiped it with oil, motor oil, and you can see we got a, I can't see the viewfinder in the camera, but we got a grease fitting there, and I timed them so they're the same. Grease fitting there, and I actually greased the fittings so that I don't forget. Getting all tangled up in the parking brake cable here. I just kind of strung it and hung it where it belongs just so I could work under here without rolling around in it and tangling up in it. But yeah, it came up. Try and get the light It's hard to see the viewfinder, but anyway, it looks good. That's going to be it for this video. I think I'm going to call it a day. If you liked my video, hit the like button. If you want to see this neat old Galaxie cruising down the road in the future, subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.